and welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, where in every episode we center our discussions around a crucial aspect of communities, and that is the small businesses. These enterprises are the backbone of our economy, driving innovation, creating jobs, and enriching our neighborhoods. It's essential to support local businesses as they bring unique character and vitality to our lives. Today, we're excited to delve into the world of audiovisual and entertainment technology with our esteemed guest, Yasser Abdelkader. Joining us today is Yasser Abdelkader, the Sales Director of Sales and Systems Integration Division at Solotech's Toronto office. With over a decade of experience in the industry, Yasser is a strategic leader known for his ability to forge strong client relationships. A graduate of the University of Toronto with a degree in Business Management and Communications Information Technology, he plays a pivotal role in strengthening Solotech's market position. Solotech, a global leader with over 45 years of history, is renowned for its comprehensive solutions in audio, video, lighting, and more, serving a wide range of markets. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Yasser. Yasser, how are you today?
Good, and thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Very, very pleased to have you with us this afternoon. Now, Yasser, Solotech's portfolio of services is transforming the way businesses operate in today's interconnected world. And your solutions are not just about technology, but about creating environments that enhance productivity and collaboration. Can you please elaborate on how offerings like conference rooms, hybrid workplaces, and digital signage are driving the success for SMEs?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned in your intro, SMEs represent a large part of our economy, and they're also a driver for a large group of employment, right? They're waving the next wave of the employee class that's coming in. And coming off the pandemic, what we've found is there's been a paradigm shift in the way people work. Remote work has really picked up, and the ability to collaborate with your staff is really a driving force in the decision making that small and medium businesses are making. How you talk to your employees, how they collaborate with each other, and also how they interact with their with their clients, really has changed the way we've looked at the business landscape before the pandemic to post-pandemic. As a result of that, there's a middle ground where businesses are trying to find the even balance of developing a strong hybrid work culture where their staff feel comfortable working from home and back in the office, but also not losing that integrity and that culture that defines the employee company relationship, which is resulting in turn in a lot of staff moving around. So what we try to do is use some of our best business practices in our history in the industry to optimize the workplace so that whether your staff are working from home or are in the office, they feel empowered to leverage their tools and their technologies to really be transformational in the workplace.
So let's kind of integrate like a real life example where Solotech's solutions significantly impacted a small business.
Yeah, so we had a medium-sized organization in the legal sector approach us because they were experiencing a large churn in their staff. As a reaction to the pandemic, they did open up a remote work policy. So a lot of their staff are working from home. But what they ended up discovering was that there was a lack of connection to the organization. So staff are coming in, working from home and disconnecting. When there were town hall events or when they were engaging in any type of group activities, they saw the participation drop down. As a result, they were seeing staff kind of entering in a revolving door. So what we tried to do was look at the collaboration tools and the technologies that we could use to really invest in having their staff voluntarily come back to the office. We believe in creating thoughtful, meaningful spaces that make your staff voluntarily come to the office rather than mandates. We do that by leveraging ecosystems like Teams, WebEx, Zoom, as well as capturing the new reality of the world, which is video conferencing, right? So I think our expertise in both that space has allowed us to kind of provide medium and small businesses best practices on how to optimize that by, but also, and really important, maintaining meeting equity in the meeting, right? So whether you're working from home or you're a live participant in that meeting, you feel that your thoughts and your contribution are equal wherever you're working.
No, thank you so much for that comprehensive overview of Solotech's offerings. I mean, surely, and the example that you provided also illustrated the transformative impact that these services can have on the SMEs. Now, we all know that the modern workplace is constantly evolving, and adapting to these changes has become more crucial than ever before. Now, Yasser, how is Solotech helping businesses adapt with immersive workplaces and hybrid options?
Well, technology is playing a huge role in the workplace now. I think more than ever in our history. Um, Everybody has their own device, and whether that's a laptop provided by the organization or your cell phone or your tablet, we're always connected.
Mhm.
And because of that, it's created complications in the way we do work. So people want to be able, the way they do at home, to speak to maybe their Alexa or their Google and do voice assistants. So we're leveraging AI.
Mhm.
Um, People want to be able to access video and feel immersed within the meeting, whether they're at home or in the workplace. And they want to be able to collaborate at their fingertips. I think onboarding and being able to be intuitive technologies is really important because the technology aptitude of staff are varying degrees, right? So whether this is a person who is a newcomer or a first driver who loves technology or somebody who's resistant to change, we want to make sure that we're adopting practices that whether you love it or you hate it, you're able to do it easily. So what we're also seeing in a lot of enterprise spaces and for small and medium businesses as well is that the traditional I have a desk, this is where I come into work is no longer gone. A lot of organizations are shrinking their capital footprint because they don't need it. So they're turning to policies of like hoteling or creating shared spaces that can be temporarily rented by their staff for the day. So they plug in, they do their job, and then they leave. So we try to optimize that by using different technologies
Mhm.
and different practices to help create that solution so that it's seamless. So whether that staff member takes their laptop from home and docks in and then they take it away, the experience is always the same.
Right. No, incredible insights there, Yasser. And now your approach to helping businesses is also great in terms of, having them become more innovative and more transformative. Now let's kind of discuss the innovation technology at Solotech. I mean, staying at the forefront of technology is a relentless pursuit, and Solotech has consistently demonstrated its ability to lead in this regard. How does Solotech stay ahead with the latest technologies to offer cutting edge solutions?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So, as the fifth largest AV vendor in the world, we provide a unique perspective because we cater to those at the concert venue, so Harry Styles, Taylor
Oh, wow.
Swift, at that level. But we also understand how those technologies can play in the workplace. So. We carry almost 164 product lines within our portfolio. And
Mhm.
as a result, we can provide an agnostic solution forward approach. So rather than kind of pigeonholing or trying to push one manufacturer to solve your solution, we build the solution around your pain points. And I think that has been a real refreshing approach to a lot of organizations who are not looking for a sales pitch,
Mhm.
but how to figure out a problem.
Right.
And I think that's the way we've approached as a sales group within the GTA is really trying to identify what are the pain points, what is the business's workflow, and how do we optimize that with technology rather than technology becoming a burden into the workflow.
Mhm. Can you share like a recent advancement that Solotech has integrated into its solutions?
Yeah, so digital signage has become a really big part of the new modern workplace, whether that's a reception area with an LED wall to create capture or an audience when your clients or your employees are walking in, all the way to digital wayfinding. So using these now digital signage throughout your place to either find
Mhm.
available desks, available meeting rooms, optimizing your collaboration ecosystem. So whether you use Microsoft Teams or Zoom, how that plays within the boardroom as well as outside the boardroom, how people are communicating with their clientele as well as their coworkers. We really are thoughtful about the technology and the way we put it into places. Perfect example can come up to is we had a small medium firm that was really looking at trying to create an exciting space. So they had a cafeteria where their staff would normally congregate, and they really wanted to transform that space into a town hall space where when they wanted to perform or deliver key messages, they wanted a place where they could have a large audience within the building, but
Mhm.
also be able to capture a wider net audience of those who are working from home. And I think that's a normal habit now of many organizations. So we wanted to make sure that we had the appropriate sound capture, that the video was crisp, and that we could create different feature sets like polling and voting so that your audience abroad or far still felt engaged and involved in the meeting.
Mm-hmm. It's quite fascinating to hear how Solotech really leverages the latest technological advancements. Now, understanding the importance of client-focused strategy in today's competitive market, Solotech's approach to serving to its clientele is a topic worth exploring. Yasser, does this philosophy really help in catering specifically to the needs of SMEs?
I think the biggest challenge, I guess, in the sales world is, as salespeople, we always think we have the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I think the approach that we take at Solotech is listen and understand the business workflow of the customer and the clientele. Every business vertical has different challenges and a different approach in the way they deal with their clients, that they collaborate internally with their coworkers. So what we really try to do is listen and understand the approach. Obviously, with 45 years of experience, we can provide best practices or pitfalls that we've seen in prior deployments. But really what we're trying to do is optimize the experience and the culture that you're trying to create. So whether that is, cool and exciting, and we pull from our time in the concert venue and our world tour stage, or we pull from our experience in the public sector, we really try to customize a solution that is catered and fits to your needs rather than trying to put a square peg into a circle spot.
Mm-hmm. Now, your focus on this client-centric approach is quite commendable. It's evident how it sets Solotech apart, really. Now, as hybrid working models become more prevalent, the importance of well-equipped and efficient conference rooms cannot be overstated. Yasser, how does Solotech contribute to creating seamless conference room experiences for businesses?
Well, one of the two major concepts that we've kind of tried to bring into the market is, one is scalable deliverable packages that are easily digestible by IT and procurement leads. This allows for a company to make a finite decision on what their boardroom experience looks like and be able to apply it quite quickly through a scalable model. We do that by leveraging our e-commerce portal, so our access portal, which allows our customers to pick a pre-configured solution and then apply that to multiple spaces. So maybe you're a medium-sized business that has 3 locations across the GTA, and you've deployed a conference solution in your Scarborough office. And you say, this would be great to apply in Mississauga as well as maybe in Etobicoke. Rather than restarting the wheel again, we leverage the experience that we had at your first location, and we adopt an adaptable, scalable model that you can apply. The second thing that we really try to do is also understand the CapEx and the OpEx model. So renovating an office can be a huge ordeal and require sometimes capital up front. What we've entered in the market is now AV as a solution. So rather than looking at a one-time capital expenditure up front, we can pull that through a subscription service. So what that has really allowed us to do is leverage continuity in changing in technology. So every 2 to 3 years, we can pull the equipment out, refresh you with new equipment, and all you're paying is a subscription service. And what that also allows us to do is really optimize the day 2 support. So as organizations deploy these rooms and maybe don't have the staff in-house to kind of support the rooms, we can then take that on as well and provide transparency through that same portal on how the room is functioning, its uptime, and the ability for you to kind of modify and grow as the organization's changes.
Now, for an SME, what kind of key elements or ideas they can use to make a conference room more efficient, especially in the hybrid setup?
So I always tell organizations that the most important thing about developing a conference room is sound. You can have a meeting with audio and without video, but you can't have a meeting with video and without audio, right? So it's really about figuring out how we can optimize the sound solution and then building around from that. From there, video plays a key role in today's modern workplace. So making sure that you have meeting equity, so all camera angles are covered in there, so that no matter where your CEO or exec sits, they can be captured appropriately, as well as a supporting cast around him. I think those two things, and what we do is we leverage our camera experience from both the big stage, but also from our time in the workplace to really optimize that. I think beyond that, we really try to lean on the ecosystem that a lot of organizations are falling into. So I think everybody hears the buzzwords of Microsoft Teams, Zoom. They're accustomed to those kind of meeting platforms. And what we try to do is really take what the user experiences at their house or their individual desk and make sure that that touch and feel feels very similar when they move into the boardroom. I
Right.
think the biggest challenge that we've seen in our industry for the longest is I've walked into a boardroom. I've never used the technology before. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to start the meeting. And maybe my meeting started at 9 o'clock, but it's now 9:23 and we still haven't figured out how to launch the meeting. So what we try to do is make it as intuitive as possible and a similar experience that they would have on their own individual laptop. So when a user walks in the room, they feel more confident leveraging the technology. I think everybody I've talked to has a horror story where they've walked into a room
Yeah.
and they've just abandoned the technology because they don't know how to use it, and they go down to like putting a phone on the table with a speakerphone, right?
Yeah.
That's not the best experience, but it's a reality because technology is always changing, and as a result, we have to adapt. So I think making boardrooms intuitive and easy to use is really the first step in generating adoption of those practices.
No, thank you so much for shedding light on the importance of creating efficient conference rooms, especially in the hybrid setup, and Solotech's contribution in enhancing these spaces is clearly vital. Now, yeah, so Solotech's engagement with SMEs is multifaceted and focusing not only on providing cutting edge product, but also on offering comprehensive support in technology and equipment management, which is a crucial aspect for modern businesses. Um, how do you support SMEs in managing their tech and equipment effectively?
It's a very good question, and I think it's an objection or a struggle that we see with a lot of IT managers. Sometimes, especially in small to medium-sized businesses, there's usually one IT director who's responsible for multiple sites.
Mhm.
He does either as a lack of resources or a knowledge of the AV because his expertise is in another area. What we try to do is provide day two support for all the solutions that we provide, so that the end user has a peace of mind that if something were to go wrong or the performance of the room is not to what they're accustomed to, it's a simple call, text, or IM through our online portal to get
Mm.
access right away. We're one of the few AV integrators in the market that provide comprehensive 24 by 7 support. So whether you need to speak to somebody on the phone to walk through that step or have a technician come out to site, we provide that support. We also provide a visible dashboard that you can use to not only track those incidents, but also use that tangible data to make decisions, right? So let's say you have a conference room that repeatedly has issues with their microphones. Then as you're making your roadmap plan for next year, maybe you look at prioritizing upgrading those
Mm.
issues. Also, you can also track the utilization of those rooms. So, for example, you've outfitted a certain room for audio conferencing only, but you're noticing that that room is being constantly booked for video conferencing. That's something that we can help with that data to kind of help you with that roadmap. So, it's really about empowering the SME to make business decisions that are going to optimize their workflow and
Mhm.
having the data to support that.
To wrap our conversation up, yeah, so can you discuss a scenario where Solotech's day two support made a significant difference for our clients?
Yeah, so we work with quite a few law firms in the GTA, and because their rooms are billable, whether through their own clientele or our subsidiary offices, it's really important that uptime is critical. So we would hear stories of their staff having to come in at 5:30 in the morning to pre-check all the rooms so that they felt the peace of mind that the rooms would be ready for the day.
Right.
Obviously, it's not an efficient use of their staff's time. Plus, it was creating a strain for having your staff coming in so early. By having the comprehensive support model that we have, whether a room was going down at 2 a.m., we would get proactive alerts. So the rooms would be ready to go by the time they walk in at 8 a.m. So alleviating the strain on their staff, giving them peace of mind that no matter what time that room was booked, they would be ready and functional, and also having the visibility through the dashboard to check the health of every room. It really changed the way that that organization approached the technology. Rather than looking at worst case scenario all the time, they were preparing for their next meeting, right?
Mhm.
So I think it was a real big paradigm shift for the power that they felt that they had using leveraging the dashboard and the support they had from our organization.
Your insights, into Solotech's comprehensive support beyond the product sale really highlights and emphasizes on the depth of the commitment for your clients. So for that, Yasser, we would like to thank you for sharing your invaluable insights and for being here to share the support and the solutions available at Solotech for the
No,
clients.
thank you very much for having me. I think it's really important that we understand the importance of the small and medium organizations in the
Right.
marketplace and how we can support them moving forward, right? It's not always about the enterprise customers. It's really about catering to the needs of everyone. So thank you again for having me on the show, and I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. As we conclude today's episode of the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Yasser Abdelkader for joining us and sharing his invaluable insights. Today, we've learned about the diverse offerings of Solotech and how they empower SMEs, particularly in adapting to modern and hybrid workplaces. We delve into the innovation spirit that drives Solotech, keeping them at the forefront of technological advancements. Yasser highlighted the importance of client-centric approach, showcasing how it's not just about the products, but how they fit into the unique needs of each businesses. We also explored the essential role of efficient conference rooms in today's hybrid world environment and how Solotech supports SMEs in managing their technological needs. These insights not only reflect Solotech's commitment to innovation and customer satisfaction, but also underscore the importance of technology in the growth and success of small businesses. We'd also like to extend our thanks to our exclusive partners, RBC, UPS, and Xero, for their unwavering support. And a reminder to our listeners to subscribe to the Canadian SME Small Business Magazine at CanadianSME.ca for more enlightening conversations. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember that supporting local businesses and embarking innovation are the key to communities' prosperity. Until next time, keep innovating and supporting your local small businesses.